Hello, everybody. Good morning. This is Sharonda. Merry Christmas. Today is December the 25th, and I'm going to proceed with a tarot card reading for today. And so I've proceeded to scramble my cards, and I'm going to pull from the bottom half of the cards. So before I do my reading, I'm going to say, Father Supreme Being of all being. I don't know what this reading entails today, but I do feel like it is a relevant reading that needs to be conveyed today. And so please provide me with infinite knowledge, wisdom, capability, and understanding, as well as clarity, insight, and wisdom in regards to this reading. So I will proceed and pull my cards. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so give me just a moment and I will proceed to lay my cards out. That is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So for card 1, I have the Three of Pentacles. Card 2, this is the barrier. This is what crosses over. I have the Hermit card. Card 3, I have the Knight of Swords. This is where we're what is the situation. Card 4, I have the Chariot card. This is the root of the issue or what the issue is. Card 5, I have the High Priestess card. And card 6, I have the Four of Swords. Somehow I feel like this reading today is medically related. That's what I feel. It gave me a name, but I don't right offhand know what name. I don't know any of anybody with that name. So I'm going to proceed to pull up the meaning of that name and see if I can get a little bit more clarity, because it could very well be, Bible related or biblical related, but it just gave me a name. So it did. Okay. Um. Okay. So. Okay. So in essence, I feel like this reading is prophetic in nature. Um, I do. Um, I feel as though um I believe that this reading is in regards to a personal message, but also a message that is applicable to the younger generation right now. Medically related. Um, I feel like a lot of the things that are being conveyed to us are told um in such a manner as to what we are doing. There are certain spirits, as I mentioned, that conveys messages to us, and by way of scribes or writing it, or by way of the web, or whatever the case may be. The issue is, um, um, I feel like this message is, I feel like it's a sacrifice. There's some type of sacrifice that is occurring amongst um, medical. Like it's medical related sacrifice is what I feel. And in saying that, I feel like prophets or prophets. I feel like this is something that has happened in ancient times, biblical times, and I also feel as though those same things occur even in these times and spaces. And I feel as though a prophet is someone who's able to see through it all and pick up on that. So, in essence, people would say, okay, you're speaking a curse because you are aware of it. No, I'm simply presenting the information that is already there. Is the point. Numerology plays a lot into place when it comes to when we are recycling and renewing, as well as when we are transitioning, is what it is. Okay. Some of these things have already been put in stone prior to you getting here, and the energy begins to call, and you will know um, when it's about to occur at certain times. That's what numerology comes in when you have made a change or a change in life, and you will begin to see things differently. Is what it is. Okay. Um, I feel as though when I mention in regards to, it's a fine line essentially between spirituality and physical as well as mental. Meaning, it's a thin line between when spirit meets, and then, it may be some mental concerns or mental illness, or even it could go this way, physical infirmities. Okay. And what I mean by that is when it's been revealed to you in a language that God has opened your eyes or conditioned you to see, it will well your mind. And I think that's what's the driving force for a lot of these, um, mental behavior type of conditions. that you would see a lot of people are plagued with, and they have a way of self-medicating by way of, whether it's prescription drugs, illicit drugs, or alcoholic beverages and such, or even food, to soothe those images or to soothe that revelation. As I mentioned, once things have been revealed to you, it will begin to break your heart. It will. And when you get that knowing and that understanding, you will know what it is meant. Like you would know that a lot of the stuff that people are saying are not true. I mean, you could just, bang your head up against the wall. It's just simply what it is, and how they have formulated a way to put it in such a fashion to show you how people simply don't pay attention. Simply don't pay attention. When all else has failed, and you have been stricken, and everything has been stripped away from you. As they say, beggars can't be choosers, so to speak. Okay, and so I feel as though this reading is in regards to um that sacrifice, and why explanation as to um why people feel alone right now, because I have the Hermit card in cards two's position. I feel like the Knight of Swords in representation of this reading is actually death, like a death angel. Okay. I feel as though a lot of these people are plagued with the notion of being sacrificed, meaning the use of this system as a sacrifice, um, kind of similar if you want to, and this is not to be offensive to, those who are descendants or relatives of, you know, people within the Holocaust, okay? Because that was a horrible, horrible event that occurred in history. But what I feel as though is, in a sense, it's kind of like a annihilation, a repeat, as the um, saying goes, history repeats itself, and it's a annihilation of um, spirits right now. That's what it is. And so I feel as though, um, as a prophetess, somebody who's able to see, because I have the high priestess card, you're able to see it on a higher scale as to what that is. And this is the battle that we're experiencing right now. This is a battle of opposing forces right now. Card 7, I have the 4 wands card. This is the attitude. Um, you have to be somebody who thinks abnormal, or who thinks outside of the box, not normal, so to speak. Someone who can see outside, can see objectively, is what that is. But essentially, that's what it is. It's a reenactment. That time and space has met into this time and space. Card 8. I have the Lovers card. Card 8 is what is surrounding. This is what's surrounding. So I have the Lovers cards here. Typically, that could be in regards to marriages, actual lovers, or it could be in regards to relationships, and they can, be friendships, business, you know, situations, partnerships. Um, I feel like there is a something to take note of with the beginnings. Like it is leading me, it's leading me in this reading. And I don't want to make this biblical, but if I bring God into it, He's going to bring up certain things. The message is to those who are out there who may even be listening in or tuning in right now. Go back and read Genesis. Because what has happened is many of people lost the message. Okay. That's what it just revealed to me right now. He says to tell them to go back and read Genesis, the whole, I don't know how many chapters or whatever, but just read the whole, what entails for Genesis. Read it. And revelation will come. If you go back and read it, revelation will come. He said, because I give signs and wonders, and people will begin to think that it's mockery, because oftentimes you will be tested by way of mockery to make you aware that it appears to be me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's me. He says, so go back and read Genesis. That what it tells me in his reading. You need to go back and you need to read Genesis. Because I have revelation in that book. And it's going to tell and foretell of what's to come. Things are going to turn around. He says turning around. Just now. Card 9, hopes, fears, and dreams. We have Knight of Pentacles, signs. He says that the warning is not. He says the warning is to the fallen angels. I kid you not. It just put that in my spirit. I'm not making it up. I'm not. He said this warning is to the fallen angels. I kid you not. He says because once people have started to receive the truth about how spirit and spirituality work, you will see that a lot of that is fallen angels. And I'm gonna give you an example, because like I said, I'm not one to argue the Bible. I can't quote probably no more than about 3 or 4 verses out of the text. I'll be honest about it. But I do know it's a book in the Bible in reference to what is it? It's Nephilimism, where they said the angels fell down and made it with the women, and there was some giantism where a lot of the people began to become giants as such. And he says what that means is many things can be defied. Like a lot of times they'll say, this is why they say this is not the baby daddy, because a lot of times those spirits was brought in for another cause. That's why they say that's not their daddy. It was an angelic spirit that brought that spirit in, meaning a wake-up call that brought that spirit in. Somebody from, in the celestials who was looking down is what that was. And you would see the mark in the birthmark and the implantation as to who was watching and who brought that spirit in, is what it tells me. That's why a lot of times they say, you know, I want to be in my child's life. I want to be in my father, or I wanted to be in my father's life, but I couldn't be in my father's life because whenever I would try to go, it seemed like it would get angry when I would try to be in their life. And if I begin to tell people, they don't believe it. They think that I'm just making up excuses. Trust me, I know. I know. I'm not making no excuses for you. I know why that is so. But he's saying that this is a warning to the fallen angels. Because what people are going to believe and going to know, I did mention in a previous podcast that sheriffs and all of that was a state of mind. Let me misinform. Let me re-inform you or update you on what has been revealed to me. A lot of those things are an illusion or hallucination, if you may, in the sense of physical, because a lot of times we don't want to give power to it. It does exist. It does exist. We don't want to speak on what the capabilities of that realm are able to do in terms of manipulating things that has already been set in stone. Meaning, what we say the laws of physics, the laws of gravity and nature is. So we don't want anything to the contrary. However, it does occur. And essentially, it lets me know that this message is to the fallen angels. This is a warning to them. That's what it lets me know. The ones who are, as they mentioned, Curious George. He said, "This is. I'm letting you know this is not a threat." And I'm not talking. I haven't talked to nobody. Like I'm just simply a vessel right now. Like it puts images in my head. I have the chords, and it directs me as to what I need to speak about. Okay, because I was going one way and then it went off to something else. I said it was medically related, and I do feel that way that a lot of things are being manipulated by way of medical through fallen angels, meaning those who are looking and falling down and causing things to happen. Okay, because they do have the ability to what? Manipulate our time and our space and our physical way of being. He says, so this is not a threat to anybody, but this is a warning to those fallen angels who's looking to steal, kill, and destroy. That is not a threat. That is not a threat, baby. But yes, he wanted to get out that a prophet or prophetess, because it did put in my spirit, it said Jeremy. I know of one or two Jeremys. I don't know of a Jeremy like personalized. So I began to look up Jeremiah, which it says the weeping prophet is what it says. So I don't know all it is to know about Jeremiah, but I did pull up some information here. And it referred to him as the weeping prophet. says throwing down, something in reference to um I'm not going to go too much into a lot of this information because I do feel when you begin to go into a lot of these um you know websites and biblical texts and stuff, I honestly feel like they give out messages, personalized messages to certain individuals. I do. Okay. I'm just going to put it out there. So you don't know who is writing these things. You don't know who has a lot of this stuff into place, but it referenced them to um, the weeping prophet. Okay. So, it could very well be um, pain is coming to those who are the fallen angels. They do use sacrifice. They do use these people as a sacrifice and as a prophet and prophetess. You are able to tap into those spirits and gain their insight as to how they misuse them, and you are able to pick up on that. It's what it lets me know that I am able to pick up on that. But it does mentions to me, and pulling these cards, it says go, and I think I'm going to read the book of Genesis because it's a message that needs to be conveyed. It did just let me know that now. Go back and read the full book. And things that you thought you knew, when you begin to read it in these set of eyes, now you will get clear understanding as to what that is. Okay. um in regards to what is transpiring right now. So it says go back to the beginning, is what it lets me know. Let them know that they need to go back to the beginning. And I'm not saying, the beginning in terms of the book, the text, the biblical text. So for those who are out there who may have prayed for a sign or need a sign, and he said it specifically, and it mentions about the tree of life. They need to go back and they need to study and they need to read it and reread it and reread it. Because a lot of them have lost the whole concept as to what was needed to be conveyed in regards to what was being said. Plain and simple. Um, the outcome, I have 9 of Swords. Um, so with this outcome, he says, once you go and do that, then you will, and only then will you see how things were set into place. You will begin to see how things were set up into place, and then fast forward to now. I put some seeds in you when you was a kid. If you go back and you read that first chapter in the Bible, I'm going to reveal something to you once you read it. And I'm not biblical, baby. I'm not biblical. Like I said, I know of some stories, a couple of stories, maybe a couple of verses. I can't argue with this person, but it's letting me know. Tell them to read Genesis because there's something in relation to the sacrifice and the medical in that book that people had not captured. He said, I forewarn you in the beginning. I put the tools in you to foresee and have insight. Many times people won't get it until what they are going through the storm. Kind of like, a hurricane where you have the eye, which is the calmer part. But once everything around you is just swirling and falling apart. Okay. So I am gonna close out this daily reading for today for Christmas. It's Christmas, and I know many people may not want to hear anything about no tarot card reading on no Christmas. You want to enjoy your family, get together, dinner, talk, and things of that nature. Okay. So if you can take out the time for those who may be listening in or will be viewing in, go and read Genesis book, first book in the Bible. Okay. Whatever, your version that you just so happen to go with, read that book. And it's going to entail and read it through an objective set of eyes. Because you will begin to see that when we go through phases and go through different changes in life, we are looking at things through the viewpoint, oftentimes when you're empathetic, through the eyes of someone else. Particularly when you can all of a sudden begin to have, weird thoughts and feelings and emotions that are not commonly of your thoughts, emotions, and feelings. This is God allowing you to see things through the eyes of someone else. And sometimes you would even have a change in your countenance. And you may be able to see it, certain people may be able to see it, and that's how they would know this is God giving revelation to this person. So those who have been conditioned to understand that would know, okay, we know what that is. Okay, so I'm going to close out this spiritual sense for Christmas. Until then, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.